understand the gravity of conducting such events to motivate young, innovative minds. Also, it has opened a new way of learning wherein we can conduct a national event right from our comfort zones. Through research, each scientist grows as a human being and helps others to do likewise. Such are the dignitaries we have with us today. I request Dr. Anuradha Majumdar ma'am, Dr. Gyandeva Bhatt sir, Dr. Munira Momin ma'am, and Dr. Lokesh Bhatt sir to have a seat on the dais. We would like to commence the function by pledging honor to our country, India, the land of cultural diversity, requesting you all to kindly stand for the national anthem.
अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Thank you, everyone. Let us now invoke the divine blessings of Goddess Saraswati. I request all the dignitaries on the dais to step forward for offering flowers as a tribute to the Goddess of Knowledge.
या कुन्देन्दुतुषारहारधवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युतशङ्कर प्रभृतिभिर्देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा.
Thank you, honorable dignitaries, for your kind gesture. Thank you, Shreya, for the beautiful Saraswati Vandana. Now, I request Dr. Munira Momin ma'am to welcome our dignitaries. Our chief guest, Dr. Anuradha Majumdar ma'am. Our guest of honor, Dr. Gyandeva Bhatt sir. Our special guest, Dr. Parisadal Chidna ma'am. Another special guest, Mr. Ketan Parmar. Our very own SRC coordinator, Dr. Lokesh Bhatt sir. Thank you so much, ma'am. Now, I request Dr. Lokesh Bhatt sir to welcome our dear principal, Dr. Munira Momin ma'am. Thank you, sir. The theme for the third Student Research Congress is Innovations in Healthcare. It is a 3-day event with Day 1 PhD and PG oral presentations, followed by Day 2 poster presentations, and on Day 3 UG oral presentations and Innovative Idea Challenge. We hope you enjoy and learn from all these sessions. A teacher is like a candle who consumes itself and lights the way for others. It gives me immense pleasure to invite our principal, Dr. Munira Momin ma'am, to present the welcome address.
Thank you, Teresa. Good morning and very warm welcome to students, guests, and BNCP faculty, offline and online participants across India. Before I start my welcome address, I just want to quickly give stats for all the participants, those who are watching this event online on YouTube or from our website, BNCP SRC. A quick stat is we are very happy to share this third SRC, which has more than 780 registration, 18 states participation, 49 cities across India has participated in this event, 60 colleges, pharma and science and technology colleges have participated. We have abstract registration and submission, 239 abstracts we received from 13 states across India, 35 cities across India, and 48 colleges. And since we cannot accommodate all the abstracts, not only that, we have scrutinized all the abstracts which were sent by all the colleges, different colleges across India, for the parameter of quality and innovation in health and science. So those abstracts which had good content, research content, we have selected those abstracts, and if I can quickly tell you, it's a 45% selection rate out of all this abstract submitted. The reason I'm mentioning all this is to reiterate the quality which we would like to take up and build in this SRC. We have seen in last 3 years, in spite of online, so the genesis of SRC is a pandemic. So we are happy to say that when we wanted to do something and keep our students engaged, we came up with this idea, and the pandemic gave us the biggest opportunity to go online, and we could see hits on our SRC website. So there is a dedicated website of Student Research Congress, which is a BNCP-SRC website. And here we could see hits from nearby countries also in the first as well as second CRC, SRC, and the third Student Research Congress. So with these stats, let me thank University of Mumbai for generously coming forward and supporting us in this scientific endeavor. And thank you very much, Dr. Anuradha Madam. When I approached her, she immediately took up this matter at the registrar level and pro-VC level, and she made sure that our first SRC, Student Research Congress, got support from University of Mumbai. So thank you very much, Madam. She has always been with BNCP, I can proudly say. She has always been with BNCP for any scientific endeavors which we do for students or faculty. So once again, thank you very much, Madam, for all your support and guidance. We cannot thank enough ACG and SciTech. ACG Worldwide, the team here is Dr. Gnandev Bhatt, Vice President R&D, it's not only for the Student Research Congress, ACG Worldwide and SciTech has joined hands, but ACG Worldwide has also supported BNCP for training our faculty. So when we approached Dr. Gnandev as well as ACG team, and we put up our proposal that we would like to send our faculty for training with the purpose of knowing the latest technologies so that the knowledge percolates down to students. And they generously agreed, and we had faculty going to Kandivali plant headed by Dr. Gnandev for 15 days training, and that was a wonderful training, insightful training for our faculty. Number of activities which we conduct, we have asked ACG, so it's not only supporting Student Research Congress, but they have also supported some of our MPharm students for their research work, may it be excipients or a support in completing their thesis on capsule, nano-emulsion-based capsule or a liquid-based capsule, or it is visiting their plant or supporting students with the scholarship. Not only that, for placement also, ACG Worldwide has always supported BNCP. It's not that we have association with BNCP, but I can always say proudly that ACG team has always appreciated and recognized the talent of BNCP, and they always said that your students are well groomed, and that is one of the reasons they have been employing BNCP students. So when the concept of Student Research Congress we thought of contacting ACG, and they generously said yes, and they sponsored all the prizes which were even during this third SRC, they are sponsored by ACG Worldwide and SciTech. So thank you, ACG team. Special thanks, convey my regards to Mr. Ajit Singh, who is always pro-student and pro-research. Whenever I have interacted with him, he always thinks about student. How can we develop skill in our students who are in turn industry ready? So thank you, Ketan sir, and thank you, Perizad madam, for always following up with our request with the higher management and making sure that the proposal which we have put up gets accepted, and they have facilitated the entire process. Not only that, the ACG is also has supported putting up some of the informative posters in BNCP premise as well as School of Pharmacy premise in this building. And those informative posters, I'm sure all of you are seeing in the corridor. Those are given by ACG. So thank you once again, ACG team and SciTech, for supporting the academic as well as the research endeavor at BNCP. So very warm welcome to our chief guest, Dr. Anuradha Majumdar, madam, Dean of Mumbai University Faculty of Science and Technology, representing University of Mumbai today. Our guest of honor, Dr. Gnandev Bhatt, Vice President R&D ACG Worldwide. Thank you, both of you, for accepting our invite and gracing the event today. I'm sure your presence is going to further scintillate the students' scientific endeavor and learning motivation. Thank you for both to Perizad madam and Ketan sir for remaining present today. It shows your dedication towards supporting our educational and research endeavor. Thank you everyone, those who are present here in this auditorium for our offline inauguration, and all those who are present online on YouTube as well as on our BNCP SRC website. So entire event is live streamed on YouTube, BNCP official YouTube page, as well as BNCP Student Research Congress, that is BNCP SRC web page. It is live streamed. It is rightly mentioned, innovation in healthcare. That's the need of an hour. We science students play an important role, equally important role along with the engineers and other science and humanity. It is students during their college time develop this inquisitiveness, and that's where the innovation comes in the picture. The first requirement I would put up is the inquisitiveness to be innovative. You need to have a broader horizon of knowledge and understanding. You need to have inquisitiveness, the very basic nature. The inquisitiveness leads to innovation. And it is a high time that in India we need to have more innovation. We see a lot of innovation coming up from the Western countries. The science and technology institutes have a biggest onus on us and a responsibility on us to inculcate inquisitiveness in our students, which will lead to innovative outcome. The smallest problem statement and the smallest problem solution would also be a part of innovation. We have selected abstracts which has a potential of further innovation in healthcare. There are abstracts which are based on the scientific detail and the good data collection, which also has a potential in future to have innovation and further industrialization and commercialization of the technology, which at large would be helpful for the societal health and uplifting the societal health. So I encourage all students to listen to all those presentations, the one present offline as well as the one who are listening online from our BNCP SRC dedicated website as well as from BNCP official YouTube channel. It's going to be a wonderful learning opportunity for all of you these 3 days. So as Teresa mentioned that we would have a PhD, PG, and then the second day continuing with the third day with the UG oral presentation and the innovative idea challenges. And it's always wonderful to be a part of Innovation Idea Challenge. All these 2 years, we have seen wonderful ideas coming up for healthcare. Innovation in healthcare. I invite all of you to be part of all these 3 days event of SRC. And with this, I sincerely thank our management who has always been supportive to all the teaching, learning and research endeavors proposal which we put forward. They have never said no. They have always encouraged us to do even better by supporting logistically or financially. So thank you to our SVKM management, senior management members, and my faculty members, those who have been strongly a motivating force for all our PhD, PG, UG students. All my volunteers of CRs of all classes, as well as the core team, the technical, logistics, scientific, all these different committees. So thank you all the volunteers for seamlessly, tirelessly working for making this event a success. We owe that completely, the success we owe to you, your hard work and your intelligence. At BNCP, we always see that all our events are managed by BNCP students. And that's our one of the motto, that we do not want only faculty to manage, because then the student don't get that opportunity to learn. We give entire responsibility to our students, and that's where we train them for, once again, University of Mumbai, ACG Worldwide, SciTech, my PG, PhD, UG student and faculty, all the participants online and offline. We welcome you to our official program on board, offline and online. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for such a rejuvenating and energizing welcome. I know that we are all filled with new motivation by our dear principal, ma'am. So today we have with us Dr. Gyandeva Bhatt sir as our guest of honor. Sir is the Vice President and Head of Formulation R&D at ACG Worldwide. He has been associated with the pharmaceutical industry for almost 3 decades now. As a product formulator, Sir has worked on various solid dosage forms, injectables, and lyophilized formulations for both regulated and semi-regulated market. At ACG, he heads the formulation R&D lab where his prime area of focus is new product development projects and customer interface. Sir is also a key speaker for various global platforms from ACG. He has a number of white papers, articles, and patents under his credit. Now, I request Dr. Gyandeva Bhatt sir to speak a few words. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Teresa. Good morning, all offline and online students. It's a great opportunity for me to be in front of you. Thank you for the opportunity. It came very quick, last moment to me, but then I thought I should accept this as an opportunity. Yes, I think the good part I heard from Dr. Munira is the astonishing figure of participants. I think that itself says about this SRC's success in last 2 years. I think that is amazing fact that so many number of students and cities and colleges participating, and I think yes, that is the right rightly said by Dr. Munira. There is something happens when something goes wrong. So COVID was a major challenge, but then I think it has given an opportunity to go. I wouldn't say even India, maybe it can be a global as well, because it's an online platform now. Everybody is hooking on to because one way it is logistics is easy, and second thing is it is easy to accommodate so many numbers. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been possible to accommodate so many number in presence. So I think that is a good opportunity. I think it has been rightly taken by BNCP and as well as with the Bombay College of Pharmacy in terms of the science and technology. Coming to the innovation, I think India is behind in terms of the innovations in pharmaceutics. Only unfortunate things for India is, the companies are not so big compared to the global innovative companies, because of which, India is not, or Indian companies are not able to invest so much for the research, because it is almost like $1 billion or $1.5 billion required for the innovative molecules to be launched. So that is the major thing which is put back in India in terms of the innovations or innovative product launches, but then it is no way behind all these companies, because we are doing wonders in incremental innovations with respect to the what you call generic products and complex generics, and something like new drug application in terms of I don't know how many of you are aware of 505(b)(2) application, which is something very different from the generic drug in the global market. So India is doing fantastic job in that particular area. So coming to the innovations, I think you should know what exactly is the innovation. So there are two types of innovation. One is disruptive innovation and one is incremental innovation. So this disruptive is something which is we don't know what will happen, because it can create a huge opportunity or it may not sometime. But then incremental innovation, which we can definitely hook on to, because that is also an innovation, wherein which I think in the pharmaceutical space now we can more focus on incremental innovation, which again called as innovation, and which can good open up new avenues in terms of science. And coming to how many minutes I have? Okay. No, it's okay. It's audible. Okay. Yeah, so I think I have participated SRC even before, and I think it gives me a very what you call proud feeling that even in India at a all levels, whether it is post-graduation or even undergraduate. I have seen the quality of, papers and innovations, and I think it is, as she rightly said, numbers, we have only chosen 45%, and then I can imagine what, the hit rate of innovations, the quality of the innovations at all levels. So I think it is a time where we, have an opportunity to look at this particular thing as a focus area, because we would like to bridge the gap between, global leaders and India, because India is also in the platform, global platform now, in terms of the pharmaceutical education and also from the pharmaceutical, what we call products perspective. I think we have to focus on this kind of incremental innovations, and we have great opportunity because, the what we call, today we have more access to the online papers and, research articles, and, whatever you want, you can Google it and find out. You don't have to go and search the, books in the library. So we have, opportunity, and we have, what we call access to all these kind of things. So I think that makes it more easy for us to hook on to this kind of incremental innovations, and I'm really, proud in terms of that, because PG and PhDs always have some kind of research in their curriculum, but then I could even see now that undergraduates are getting opportunity in terms of doing some kind of research work, and I think that is the foundation for future for them, because that level, if you are getting into innovation, that gives you more, out of the box thinking to get into the innovations, and then you can build upon that during your, post graduation and PhDs. So happy to be here to part of this particular event, and wish you all the best for your papers. And I think, request to Munira is, why don't you look at the neighboring countries as well, because I travel a lot, and then I could see that the people talk about Indian educations. I was in Bangladesh, not in Bangladesh, I was in Malaysia, and Malaysia do not have capabilities in terms of the pharmaceutical research scientists. They are all depending on India for expatriates, and happy to see that there are many people who are taken up there. On the other side, there is a flip side that Indian talents are going out. But yes, they are, or even in Indonesia or Thailand, many of the research heads, research R&D heads are from India. So because they are also looking at the education, Indian education, as a very high standard. So I think, overall, I think we are no way behind in terms of the education and in terms of the research. And more and more platforms are required, and I think this is one of the platforms where you can showcase your talents, and maybe from there you can build upon, because somewhere whatever you do as an innovation, that is the starting point for the pharmaceutical companies to look at and then build upon on that particular thing, because all innovations usually across the globe happens at the university level. Whether it is a COVID vaccine or whether it is a, cancer drug or anything. Everything starts from the university, and then it is built upon, and then it is co-partnered with the industries, and then industry will take over from there. So this is what happens. I think, India also has to look at from that angle to start this kind of innovations. Can be disruptive, I am not saying that, but then I think incremental is the one which we can hook on, because that is the one where may not be so expensive in terms of the cost involved and the time involved compared to the new chemical entity which requires about 15 years of hundreds of scientists working on 15 years plus with 1.2 to 1.5 billion dollar investment, whereas incremental innovation come at a little lower cost, but then avenues are very high. So I think it's a good opportunity, and I wish all the best for SRC and all the students. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. It was a wonderful experience listening to you. Thank you for enlightening us with what innovations are all about and where our country lies. We'll definitely try to put forward more incremental innovations. Next, we have our chief guest for the day, Dr. Anuradha Majumdar ma'am. She is the Dean of Faculty of Science and Technology, University of Mumbai. With more than 20 years of experience in academics and research, she has pursued her B Pharm and M Pharm from Nagpur University and has done her PhD in Technology from University of Mumbai. Her area of specialization is pharmacology. Ma'am has been a faculty in Bombay College of Pharmacy, and her research areas are neuropharmacology, metabolic pharmacology, and novel drug delivery systems. Her research thrust lies in the area mitochondrial dysfunction in disease and disease disorders. She has several patents, publications, book chapters, and international presentations to her credit. Now, I request Dr. Anuradha Majumdar ma'am to speak a few words to our audience.
Thanks for the kind introduction. A very good morning. I repeat what Dr. Bhatt said. Good morning to all who are present here offline, and a very good morning to all who are listening to us or who would be listening to us when you log in onto the Facebook link and the link of the Students' Research Congress of BNCP. Greetings from us, and we are indeed privileged to be part of this gathering. So, first of all, I would like to greet the dignitaries who are sitting here, Dr. Jnana Deva Bhatt, Dr. Munira Momin, Principal BNCP, and my professional colleague, Dr. Lokesh Bhatt. Greetings to Dr. Parizad Elchidana, Mr. Ketan Parmar, and from ACG and SciTech, and thanks from the University of Mumbai as well for the conviction in this Congress, as well as the support which you've given through funding, through research and knowledge to the Congress, not only now but in the past as well. Thank you, Dr. Bhatt, for your support. And I would like to thank my colleague faculty who are my dear friends from BNCP. In between, there was an event and somebody told me, that Jnana Dan, I will not use the word Dan, knowledge offering is the biggest offering. And I was wondering why he said that. He was a learned man. And he said that when you are giving clothes, when you give food, all of it which you've obtained or you're manufacturing something, the mass or the material comes from Mother Earth, whether it is minerals, whether it is cotton, whether it is food. We are not creating it. It has been endowed to us by the Mother Earth, right? Nature is giving it to us. While Gyan, knowledge, is something which is imbibed, the wisdom, which is imbibed by the teacher. Okay, here you can see industry dignitaries, Dr. Bhatt, Dr. Parizad, Mr. Ketan. They are also giving Gyan to the students by virtue of their presence, by virtue of the, facilitation of visits of students and faculty to their setups, right? And also sharing their knowledge with students. So this is the biggest done, and for that I know my faculty colleagues, teachers from BNCP, from other science and technology colleges, go the extra mile, go to the extent which is beyond their call of duty to give additional knowledge, gyan, to their students, to their mentees who they mentor in final year, third year, project work. I'm sure many of you students who have submitted your abstracts must have been mentored by your faculty, because you need a bit of nudge, a bit of, what you call contouring and, guidance from your teachers to make the best optimal abstract, which is backed by some kind of a research or a systematic review of some area of, knowledge. So I would like to thank my teacher colleagues from the heart for their efforts in grooming the students, the future generation of pharmacists and scientists, who would come out into the wide world of professional pharma production and other aspects, and who would add their, merit and knowledge and skills to the field. I have seen Dr. Munira Momin's endeavor. Remember, 2020, we were encountering an unprecedented COVID pandemic, right? March 2020, clarion call of the Prime Minister of a lockdown. We have never faced a pandemic since the Spanish flu, and that time also, the world was much restricted, right? The development was much, much limited. So, in spite of that, in 2020, the disruptive change which Sir was talking about, Dr. Bhatt, was what we saw, witnessed in higher education and even primary and secondary education during COVID times. There was a paradigm shift in the way higher education was imparted. You are all aware we went online even for examinations. We adopted online way of teaching and learning management systems. Examinations was held online. And imagine the amount of effort the University of Mumbai had to make, right? We had 850 plus colleges. Many of the colleges were in Mofussil areas, which limited access to internet connectivity, right? And we had to have examinations, and for the people who were in the remotest of area, the unreached areas, is how we tried to have some offline centers taking care of the COVID protocol. Imagine during the first, the first phase was very, very grey for us. Then Delta was a very, very catastrophic experience by the country across pan-India, right? And then Omicron, which was very sporadic and not so, substantial in the mortality or morbidity. So this disruptive change, madam took it as an effort, and I remember her first communication through mail, and then she spoke to me, and 2020 you had your first Congress, right? And this is the third Congress, so she took full advantage of the disruptive change of online conference, right, or a convention, which was not done ever before. Do you remember of any time attending a conference online or a research congress online? No. So she took advantage of the situation and the disruptive change, and lo and behold, now we are at the third students research congress, and we can see the kind of expansion which has taken place with 239 abstracts, 781 registration, 18 states and union territories, 49 cities, 60 colleges, and they had to actually critically screen and select the abstracts based on the quality. So thank you very much, Dr. Munira Momin, and I'm privileged to be part of University of Mumbai, which is, collaborating with you from the first Congress itself. And thanks, Dr. Lokesh Bhatt, and the entire faculty of Bhanuben Nanavati College of Pharmacy, and all the student volunteers who've been part in, contributing to that, and probably have evolved as students and as budding pharmacists in honing up your skills with respect to man management, communication, conflict management, right, and how to deal with data. I always tell my masters and PhD students, what you learn from your guide and your peers is not just your laboratory work, it is also a passive learning of analyzing data, looking at data in an objective manner, and also taking informed decisions based on data. We graduates and postgraduates of science never take knee-jerk reactions, whether in professional life or in personal life. That is an intrinsic characteristic we build over the years, that we always take informed decisions. We do not take random sporadic decisions. You'll realize that once you pass out and you are leading your professional and personal life. One more very important thing is transdisciplinary students. I'm sure the focus here is healthcare, generics, novel drug delivery systems, innovations in molecular mechanisms, etc. But the era has come to go transdisciplinary. There is no watertight compartment. So when we talk about interdisciplinary, if I say just technology, not just collaborating with engineering faculty or students like you do in the IIT programs and research conventions, but also maybe agriculture, maybe botanists, right? You have to play the field. And for that only it's possible. So now, if you know, the new education policy 2020 talks about transdisciplinary focus of institutions. Usually our pharma colleges are flagship colleges and institutes which only has pharmaceutical sciences which is imparted, in the programs of education, higher education. But at least in research, maybe we will not be forced, to go transdisciplinary because we are very niche pharma community of institutions, but we will have to go transdisciplinary in our focus of research and our outcomes. So my dear students, do not live in silos. Do not just think about yourself. Think how your knowledge can, apply to other fields. And there is application. Nothing is watertight. In between, on 15th August, when our Honorable Prime Minister gave the speech, he was talking about Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan. Okay, and then came the Industrial Revolution, right? And then Jai Anusandhan, right? Research. And there was a lot of boost in research, and all these laboratories, CSIR, ICMR, ISRO, they were given a lot of funding and support by the government. And now it is Jai Anveshan, which is what the Congress is all about. It is about innovation. And we need to stress, and that's why if you see the learning which you do, my dear students, we do not now want rote learning. We do not want you to learn things and spill it out in the paper. We want you to understand the entire mosaic of what you learn. And that is why I always tell teachers as well, and students also, to comprehend and perceive. When you are taught subjects, whether it is pharmacognosy, pharmacology, pharmaceutics, analysis, medchem, try to integrate the knowledge which you get while you're in the class. It's all linked. So you have to, join the dots. And that your teacher cannot do. The perception has to, teachers will say some narrative which will link the various subjects which you learn. But it is you who are responsible for understanding the entire canvas of why you are learning something and what is its utility in your professional life. Okay? And your further research maybe. Now, increasingly, as Dr. Bhatt said, it is an era where what works in the market and what actually makes technologies and services redundant, is disruptive innovation. Incremental innovation also, we are very good at it in India, is also important. And most of it, since I actually represent science and technology, are related to technology and engineering. And they are playing a very crucial role in this incremental or disruptive innovation which is seen in India or globally. Startups, my dear students, government is very keen that many of you, a fraction of the class which is graduating, should become startups, become entrepreneurs. You become job creators. For that, start thinking. You need not be an MIT graduate or an IIM graduate to become a successful startup person. Many of the dropouts have made successful businesses globally. I'm not saying you should drop out. So what I'm trying to say is that it is your thought, your attitude, which will make a big difference in you determining and deciphering through knowledge, through data, what will work in the market, what should you go for, what kind of service, what kind of products, what kind of innovation. So we would urge all the students to think about whether maybe immediately after passing or taking some more degrees, getting your experience in the job, right? You should take up something on your own. So you will be actually a value add to the entire society and even to the profession, because not only would you be starting a business, you'll be creating wealth for your own company and for the country, but you will also going to get, create jobs for your juniors who are passing out, and from not only pharma, from other fields as well. So it's creativity, as Munira ma'am has also mentioned, the inquisitiveness, which leads to creativity, innovation and entrepreneurship. This is the flow which we as a university, the UGC, the AICT, everybody is trying to bolster. Everybody is trying to augment. We want this to happen more, and that's the reason we are trying to, I think this Congress is one of the ecosystems and platforms which is being provided to not only students of BNCP, University of Mumbai and other institutes and colleges of India. It also probably instills the importance of knowledge and doing something different. doing that's because what happens, my dear students, especially the undergraduate, you are used to doing procedures, following procedures. So when you have to do something different, you have to make a mindset for it, the attitude for it. And such kind of congresses are a very good, spurring of that, that culture. It's going to breed this, and I really congratulate BNCP for the same. Another very important focus of the Government of India is strengthening the grassroots technological innovations and the outstanding traditional knowledge. Now, when you see, we have gone back to organic farming, right? Organic products in the market is more expensive than the others, right? You see the food, what we used to eat traditionally. The material, microplastics have become a global menace and a cause for concern. There are so many proposals coming up. Indo-Pacific, there are proposals because plastics, the cumulative effect of plastics and different forms of polymers is huge. And they have not only contaminated the soil, that is the terrestrial domain, but also the oceanic domain, as well as the inland water system, whether it is well water, whether it is bore well water, whether it is tube well water, lakes, ponds, etc., streams. And it is concentrated in areas where there are industries, where there are effluents being released. So we need to understand that these are in continuum. If one country bans certain products, the other doesn't, but by, it will go through the nature from one place to another, maybe in a diluted form, but it will transfer. So it's very important for us to understand that what we used to do earlier, we used to use stainless steel, we used to use kansa, brass, right? Plastics, where we used to use, even in the late 90s, I think it just started the water bottles. And otherwise, we used to have stainless steel peti, and, we used to go to school with a peti, right? And we used to have cloth bags. Cloth bags used to be used. And so it's an era of circular economy. As pharmacists, we should know our packaging material, whether it is biodegradable. Can we go more greener with respect to what comes through the industries into the effluents? Can we go greener by what is getting disposed by the patients, after use, whether it is packaging or the additional material of medicaments which remain in the strips and the other, forms of medicaments and thrown into the dustbin, right? We need to think about it now, right? It's very, very important that these are fundamental issues which we are sort of, not taking so seriously, but it is now not a matter of concern. Some of the aspects are a matter of alarm, and we need to look into it. I was just looking at the Padma Shri awardees across the couple of years, and I was amazed by the way Government of India is selecting the Padma Shri awardees. Many of them are grassroots level workers, unsung heroes who have done so much. So I was just looking at the 2020 list. Okay, I saw one name who is a poor farmer, farming laborer who in Mangalore had turned over the years a barren, absolutely barren land. It must have been a large tract of land, which he converted to tea plantations, right? Imagine, I know that cultivations are homogeneous, this does not add to biodiversity, but at least a barren land was converted into a utility land, right? So this was one person who got the Padma Shri award. The other awardee which caught my attention was Anil K. Rajvanshi, 72 years old. So what he did is he has done a mechanical engineering, from IIT Kanpur, and then he went to University of Florida for PhD, came back to India, and he's located in Satara Taluka. He's the director of Nimkar Agricultural Research Institute. He's a recipient of the Padma Shri in 2022, and he has infused science and technology in rural development. Can you, many of us, we cry, we are bitter, kuch nahi ho raha hai, better leave this country. This is not a good place. But just see this gentleman, he studied in IIT, went to Florida, came back, and see the enormous contribution he has given in rural development. He has been instrumental in development of electric rickshaws, biomass power plant, rural lighting and cooking strategy. Hydrogen is coming up big in power sector, right? Loose biomass gasification systems, low-cost solar-based water purifiers, name it. Immense contribution. So I was just wondering, so what I feel, my dear students, is you also should understand that you need to expand your scope. I know healthcare and pharmaceuticals is your domain, but you can always expand your scope of work. One more important thing, slowly Industry 4.0 will be implemented even in pharmaceutical arena, right? Use of artificial intelligence, cloud computing, machine learning. So why not try to collaborate with students of engineering colleges? You have so many in this nearby area itself, right? And see how it can be applied to our own, not only manufacturing in pharma, 3D printing is one more area. Point of care diagnostics, especially when we are targeting rural belt, okay, where you don't get many diagnostic centers close by, okay, the unreached, in our society. So can we have something which gives a decently robust outcome, whether it is hemoglobin testing, creatinine, so lot of things which are required, and if it can be cheap, if it can be affordable, right, it can play an important role in government can actually, BIRAC and other institutions, government Department of Biotechnology can take your innovation, fund you and help you scale it up. Okay. Remember, my dear students, when you have innovation which has translation value, government, your own institute will help you, Dr. Munira will help you, government will help you, and you will see how, and you will get an ecosystem of the incubation centers as well, and you'll understand that there'll be many support systems to you, so that they will handhold you for the first 3 years till you take off, right? And that is the kind of support government is pledging today for innovative technologies and services. Should also focus, I know all of us now have adopted villages, right? All of you also are interacting with Zilla Parishad students, etc., right? Of schools. But rural and remote areas, remember, a large chunk of India lives in the rural areas. We should understand their limitations, what they need, and accordingly your innovation can be driven around it. My dear students, what happens I've seen is that even in my college and otherwise, a topic is selected. Munira ma'am was talking about the problem. How do you select the problem? To select the problem, you have to be pragmatic. What research do you want to do? Where do you want to innovate? It can be a very small innovation which can take off. So to understand what is the need of community, let's say in community pharmacy, what is the need of society, what is the need of industry, you need to first go visit the industry, go out into the community, right? Maybe you have survey forms, you have some form of data capture, which helps you understand the unmet needs, the gaps, the problems, and then you try to find a solution or some kind of a product which circumvents the issues associated with that area. So what I'm trying to say is that you need, my dear students, just don't take an area of research just because somebody told you, okay? You need to do your due diligence. What will be your due diligence? Find out, does the society or my industry needs it? Okay. Can I expand the scope? Can I make it transdisciplinary? Okay. And then be mindful. The only problem I see with your generation is you all are very smart, very intelligent, very tech savvy, but somehow in the midst of social media, somehow this generation is not so mindful. You have to be more mindful of your surroundings. Mindful in your home, mindful in your institution, mindful in society. When you go to industrial training and visit, it's not just to get a certificate. Observe, find out what's happening, be curious, be inquisitive. Then only you will be giving that value add when you join the professional field. Lastly, my dear students, this is especially for you. I repeat, it does not matter from which institute you belong to. It's your attitude, okay, which will determine your aptitude, what you imbibe, your skills, and how you go about it in your professional life. Number one. Another is, rote learning is not what we want. Like we've seen in the Western world, they are conditioned to ask questions. They're conditioned to think beyond what the knowledge they have imbibed. Out of the box thinking is very, very key to innovate. The third is, what you learn in your classrooms, what you learn in your laboratories, in your practicals, you should understand the applied element of it. Ask your teacher if it's not mentioned in your procedures and in your conclusions. Ask your teacher, what is the application of this? Why am I doing this? Right? So applied knowledge is very, very key to innovate. Otherwise, you will not be able to innovate, because this is the premise on which you're going to build your innovation. Another very important thing is, which I always felt when I was a student, I used to feel, how can I be better than others? How can I be a value add? the most important thing is correlating knowledge. You are getting, like I told you, you should know the entire M.F. Hussain painting. Your jigsaw puzzle should be complete in your SEM 8 when you leave this institute, or SEM 4 when you leave after your PG. The reason is, unless you take it as an entire canvas of what you've learned from the different subjects which you are encountering in your B.Pharm program or your M.Pharm, you will not be able to do justice. And that's why when you go to industry, if you really want to, move ahead, you should change your departments, learn everything under the, so that you can broaden your scope of understanding. Because if you're in one department continuously, your learning is limited. Okay? So correlation of knowledge. When you're learning pharmaceuticals, let's say you're learning in chemistry, structure-activity relationship, you learn it, right? Try to correlate it with what you learned in pharmacology about mechanism of action and why the prescription is high of particular category of drug. What is the value add with respect to pharmacokinetics, with respect to pharmacodynamics? That correlation, only when you do, you should instill it in your brain functionality, your cognitive style of functionality. And that is up to you, my dear students. With this, I thank Dr. Munira Momin ma'am for inviting me here. It's a privilege, and even University of Mumbai is very happy to be part of it. Thank you very much. All the very best.
Thank you so much, Anuradha ma'am. It was a pleasant delight listening to you and providing us with such insightful topics like emphasis on mother nature, student-teacher relationship importance, and extrapolating what we learn to our practical lives. Thank you so much, ma'am, for providing us with those insights. We also have two amazing personalities from ACG Worldwide with us today as our special guests, Dr. Parisad Elchirana ma'am and Mr. Ketan Parmar sir. Dr. Parisad Elchirana ma'am is PhD in Pharmaceutical Sciences with additional qualifications in Quality Management Systems, Business Management and Computer Science. She has experience of over 3.5 decades in pharma industry, starting with product development up to commercialization for the global markets. Throughout her industrial career, she remained close to academics. Ma'am is an honorary visiting faculty, PhD guide, examiner for M.Pharm and PhD, and is on technical advisory board for various colleges in India and Dubai. She moved back to India post completion of her commitments in Dubai and joined ACG. Currently, she is a principal technical consultant farmer at SciTech Center, which is ACG's R&D affiliate, and is a director on board of IQ Gen X. Thank you, ma'am, for giving us your valuable time. We also have Mr. Ketan Parmar sir, who is the head chairman office of ACG Worldwide. Since past 9 years, with focus on various marketing and strategic innovations for the group, including conceptualizing and implementation of student engagement program. With over 18 years in ACG and 10 years in pharma manufacturing industry as the head of projects and planning, sir has worked in different capacities in departments like maintenance, planning, production, projects and strategic marketing. Sir is an engineering graduate with diploma in mechanical engineering, B in production engineering and MBA finance from NMIMS. Certified in total productive maintenance implementation program, ISO 9000 auditor certificate. Thank you so much, sir, for giving us your valuable time. Ma'am, sir, it will be a really honor for us if you could speak a few words to our audience.
Hi, good morning, everyone. As I hope it's morning. Yeah. Online and offline. I mean, that's the new tag. Sorry, I'm not prepared for a talk, but after listening to all our dignitaries currently on the dais, I would say we need to accelerate innovation along with imbibing technology. So you can understand my two words, accelerate innovation and imbibe technology. And once you do that, innovation will be at a very, very fast pace. Some simple examples. We have technology which is based on developing and researching new APIs. We saw a classical example during the pandemic where we came up with vaccines at a very fast pace. How did we do that? It was through artificial intelligence, it was through softwares, and it was through in silico approaches where we could actually develop and design new molecules online in silico. Not just that, even preclinicals could be predicted, predictive clinicals, preclinicals could be predicted, and there was no need for actually carrying out animal studies. We straight go on to humans, and we started trials with the vaccines. So this is how technological advancements helped us to innovate at a very faster pace. Now, considering India as a country, our earlier strategy was Make in India. As far as pharma industry is concerned, we are known as the pharmacy of the world, and we are the third largest exporters of pharmaceutical products out of India. But what are they? They are all generics. Do we have any new products, new molecules, innovative formulations coming out of India? The answer is no. So then we go on to the next step or the next stage where I think we already mentioned earlier, innovate in India. And this is the stage we are now today. So students, friends, look at your innovative ideas. It does not necessarily mean basic research. Innovative is something additional you pick up and move forward out of something which was done as a basic research. Innovative can also mean doing something differently than what it was being done earlier. It does not necessarily mean coming up with totally new ideas. And industry today, pharma industry in India is looking at blue sky research. Means there is no limit. You can think differently and come up with new ideas. So this is the type of advantage you have. This is the type of promotions which companies are also giving. As companies abroad now today, even Indian companies are coming up and collaborating with educational institutions. Your own college must be having collaborations with so many companies doing projects for them. So these opportunities have started coming up. We did not have it at our time. We had to struggle through all the paths in the industry itself. But here in academic area, you have this particular opportunity. Do take it up and take it forward. So innovation today is the name of the game. Innovate, come up with new ideas and new products. So wish you all the best. Thank you very much.
Sir,
Yeah, my dear students, online and offline again. The dignitaries on the dais and my colleague Parizad Elchidana madam. We at ACG, since I'm heading the student engagement program also for ACG, we are committed to bringing the industry and academia closer to each other, not just as a recent activities, though we have made it more structurized in the recent past. But our chairman, Mr. Ajit Singh, has been very much inclined and very much active in this segment, not just now, but for past, I would say, since early 80s or 70s, since we started making some money. So the group started in 1964 with a negative, I would say that balance sheet or the negative profitability. And today we are the second largest capsule manufacturer in the world, with over 15 countries presence in 15 countries, physical presence, and supplying to over 126 countries. So we have a presence in 126 countries with physical office and factories in so many countries. So today, one of the things which I would like to just put it across to the student is also, Madam mentioned about the startups. So I would say that around 3-4 years back, we were just contemplating about the Indian pharma industry and just wanted to know who are the owners of this. You will be surprised that out of the top 10 pharma companies, 7 of them were the technocrats. So you can imagine that just being a technocrat does not mean that you need to sit in some laboratory or in some production room, but you can yourself become a great industrialist in future and take our industry to further heights. So today, as ma'am said, that we are number 3 in world by number of by numbers, the amount of tablets, capsules, or the dosages that we sell. We are number 6 or 7 by the value part of it, but by volume we are number 3. We have got a huge scope even further in this area to move ahead. One more thing which I would like to draw your attention to is that today, for ma'am also and for the faculties also to think over, and I'm very happy that ma'am is now taking care of not just the pharma side but the entire technology and science. So if you see that the way in which the engineering division has evolved over years, earlier several years back when I also did my engineering, there were only 4 categories: mechanical, electrical, electronics and civil. Today you see the way in which it has gone into the specialization. So I think even at graduation level, if in pharma side, if we have that kind of some specialization, students can become more industry ready. So today, I like as madam and the madam also said and sir also said that when student goes into the industry, they have to because of the gap or the kind of, I would say, the scope of studies that pharma students has. I must acknowledge that also, that it's a vast syllabus that they have. And after going into the industry, only they get into certain departments and try to get some specialization or focus on their department. So if we can work on something to make more specialization at graduation level itself, it can further help the student to decide their career right at the beginning. So that's one point which I wanted to drive. And yes, the other thing is, today the pharma is also very inward looking. Fortunately, being from the engineering side, since we were evolved, I've spent whole of my life in pharma, I would say. I started as a head stack manufacturer. So I was initially, in my initial 2 to 3 years, I was manufacturing computer read-write heads. So being a mechanical engineer, I was into the electronic industry, and then I moved into pharma. And today I can say that I made a pretty good ground in the pharma industry also. So you also can look at as a transdisciplinary areas that of industry. And one area which I would readily like to ask you to get involved, where you can do a lot of innovation, is also not only in the development of the new molecules or formulation, but the technology that can build it. So that's one area which I feel is not very well exploited by the pharma students. So I would suggest, if some of you can move into the technology part of it. Today I'll tell you the way in which the industry is moving on the biological side and the biotech industry. A lot of chemical engineers will find further getting into this industry, because those big API plants and all, they will need chemical engineers. Why not we go into that similar industry? Why don't, as a pharma, we expand our horizon into different industry? So these are some of the thoughts which I would like to put across, and ACG has been there helping the pharma industry and bringing the technology to India through various associations, which I would say to name few, Mr. Singh has been instrumental in bringing them, are the ISP, the CRS, the recent one is the International Excipients Council, the Pharma Excipients Council. So all these associations, there are several, 8-10 associations are there. So bringing those technology to India is also been the role of our ACG. So I would suggest, if you guys can look at those alternate areas also as a career building, it will be a great, I would say, strength of the Indian pharma industry. One more thing I would like to draw attention is, we are very proud, because we have been, I have been traveling along with Mr. Singh in many, many countries, and I must say our course or our academic course is very, very prone to industry. It's very, very industry friendly to that extent. You go to US, you go to China, they are all moving into the dispensing pharmacy. Whereas our industry, our academia is very, very pro-industry. They are supporting you to get into the industry. And today I would say that though we are into the generic part of the manufacturing or generic formulations we make, but we make it in huge and huge volumes. And making a formulation in very huge volume itself is a very high technology. Not everyone in the world is able to do that. So I'm very proud of the pharma industry and the pharma faculties and in the academia has played a great role in grooming you guys. So I think we are here to stay as a pharma, and you all have got a very good future with India. So wishing you all the best for this event also and for your future endeavors. Thank you.
In engineering, we have this year introduced major and minor degree. So in mechanical, they have explored to mechatronics, artificial intelligence. Pharma, we are bound by PCI syllabus.
Yes. So I think that at that level it has to now get involved.
Thank you so much, sir and ma'am, for taking out such your time for us from your busy schedules. It was really wonderful experience listening to you speak. We also are very grateful to the University of Mumbai and ACG for supporting us in this research venture of ours. I would like to thank all the dignitaries present here for gracing the event with your presence. It was wonderful listening to each one of you, and what more could have been better than having such amazing personalities like you among us. I request Dr. Munira Momin ma'am to present all the dignitaries with a small token of appreciation. I request Dr. Anuradha Majumdar ma'am to accept the token of appreciation. I request Yandeva Bhatt sir to request the token of appreciation. I request our special guest, Dr. Parisa Delchirana ma'am, to accept the token of appreciation. I request Mr. Ketan Pawar sir to accept our token of appreciation. Thank you so much, ma'am.
I have one thing to express specially, and I decided that I will do this at the end of presenting token of appreciation. I request all of you, online and offline, to give a huge round of applause to Dr. Lokesh Bhatt. We know the orchestra plays very well with a beautiful melodious music when maestro controls it and leads them. And that's what our Dr. Lokesh Bhatt. Thank you very much, sir, for all your efforts which you have put in.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We would be taking a short break for 15 minutes and meeting again for the 5 minutes. Okay. Slight change. We will be taking a break of 5 minutes and meeting again for the oral presentation competitions which will be conducted online. I also thank all the audience for their kind patience and participation. I request all the dignitaries to join Dr. Munira Momin ma'am in the conference hall for the online session. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.
काम चालू स्टॉप करना है